Liberal Prime Minister Mark Carney has not wasted any time in power.
How are you feeling today?
Very good. Ready to go.
His rise to office in the shadow of Donald Trump's trade war on Canada has given him an opportunity to move fast and with little scrutiny. Many Carney supporters are convinced that he is playing five-dimensional chess with Trump, communicating his defiant intentions through winks to the press.
We're going to see if we can get to the...
But in contrast to the Team Canada approach he touted during the election campaign, Carney's first days in government have shown a very different face. He has slickly turned a trade war into something else, a war on workers, refugees, Indigenous peoples, the environment, and the public sector. His first act was a showy tax cut that supposedly addressed an urgent cost of living crisis.
We're acting on affordability as we look to build out this economy.
But while the richest Canadians will save $300 a year, a person living in poverty will get no more than $11. Befitting his long career as a corporate and elite banker, Carney's main goal has been the opposite of affordability, protecting and enhancing corporate profits while appeasing Trump as much as possible. One of his new MPs put it well. I think we're going to see our government run like a corporation, which I think is long overdue. Since then, Carney has unleashed pro-corporate and Trump-friendly initiatives, embracing oil and gas, deepening militarism, and cracking down on refugee rights. He's left Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre looking on from the sidelines as Carney makes big moves straight out of Poilievre's own playbook. Off the bat, Carney quickly shed his reputation as a climate savior.
Will I support building a pipeline? Yes.
Do you mean you want Canada to export more oil and gas?
Well, that is an element of it.
He excluded climate from the government's priority list. He's met behind closed doors with oil CEOs. He's even started repeating their bogus talking points.
Decarbonized barrels, so working alongside forms of decarbonization for those barrels. That is absolutely in our interest.
Amid a backdrop of raging wildfires, he's trying to sideline Indigenous rights so he can green-light resource projects without worrying about any laws or reviews. Even his own Liberal MPs are shocked.
This federal government is proposing to shut down democratic debate, curtail committee scrutiny, and jam the bill through the legislature. It would all actually make Harper blush.
Carney has also pledged to massively increase military spending, caving to Trump's demands. That includes pledging participation in Trump's Golden Dome, a half-baked missile defense project that would weaponize space.
Trump says it will cost $175 billion and should be operational in less than 4 years by the end of his term.
Canada has called us and they want to be a part of it.
Canadian and U.S. arms makers stand to make vast profits. Carney has also bought into a corporate scheme to abolish public regulations and pretend it's a solution to Trump.
The federal government will do its part, tabling legislation very shortly to eliminate federal barriers to interprovincial movement of goods.
There are actually so few barriers to selling Canadian goods across the country that you could list them on a paper napkin. But Carney is fulfilling a long-time wish list of the corporate lobby to help dismantle worker protections, food safety standards, and professional requirements. And for all of Carney's talk about standing up to Trump, he's following his lead on shutting the door to refugees.
The new public safety minister tables his first major legislation, Bill C-2, aimed at border security, but with far-reaching implications.
This bill does a disservice to refugees and betrays the Canadian public's trust in the Liberal government for ensuring a fair refugee determination system consistent with international standards.
It's a bill that gives the government unchecked power to take away people's status. And once that power exists, then it can be used by this government, by the one after that, by the one after that, to effectively just round up people and throw them out of the country.
An attack on the rights of migrants will ensure that they are an even more precarious and vulnerable labor force for big business. All of Carney's measures will be paid for by devastating austerity. The Liberal throne speech gave a hint, laying out all the code words for cuts.
Cutting waste, capping the public service, ending duplication, and deploying technology to improve public sector productivity.
Canada's budgetary officer agrees. To balance or to pay for these types of additional spending, there would need to be severe cuts to the public service. And as for that tariff war with Trump, while Ottawa previously punched back to each tariff from the US,
Canadians are reasonable and we are polite, but we will not back down from a fight.
Carney has chosen a different tack. When the president hit Canada again in early June,
already deep into his second-term trade wars, President Trump now doubling his punch on steel.
There was no response, from elbows up to elbows snugly fit into the backside of Donald Trump.
You're a transformational president.
His meetings have continued in secret.
The Prime Minister in talks privately.
In his first 50 days, Carney has quickly become our chief CEO and Trump whisperer. Now, progressive movements will have to get their act together just as fast.